And in order to be a changer, then you have to be infused with the infinite. Can I say that again? Finitude can't change finitude. You need infinitude to change finitude. You need something that is always the same, that has the power to control the changes. Because if you're changing and I'm changing, then where is the redemption? The redemption can only come from the one who never changes. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. Now when he gets in your spirit, he gives you a sense of the unchangeable. Can I put it like that? He has to give you a sense of the unchangeable in order to give you the power to change the changeable. Because now he has set you apart from the thing that he expects you to change. I feel it. Because he has now made you a part of himself. There is no way for the will of God to be done on earth as it is in heaven if God doesn't put himself in a vessel on earth. And now I have another revelation. When you meet God, you have for the first time met yourself, because you are not the self that everybody created. You are the self that God makes. And what's going to happen now is the self that identifies with God is going to make a break from the selves that controlled. So now my vision is not your vision, and my time is not your time. My time has become God's time, and everything has a termination date. I wish you touch somebody and tell them, if it began, it surely can end. And that's why you have the solidity of God in you, so that while things are changing around you, you're not changing with the changes. So you can say, out of the solidity that's in you, the God that's in you, I will bless the Lord at all times. Things are going up and down, but I'm not going up and down because I got the power of God in me. I've got sameness and continuity. So if I'm broke, I got the same spirit. If I'm rich, I got the same spirit. If I'm working, I got the same spirit. If I'm not working, I have the same spirit, because my mind is no longer controlled by the things that are around me, but it's controlled by the Spirit of God. That's why I can say, weeping may endure for a night, but night has a termination date, because joy is coming in the morning. Give somebody a high five for the third time and say, neighbor, I'm moving to a new disposition. I'm moving to a new attitude. I'll preach the rest of it another time, but I just want you to know, Professor Bruning says, and I quote, he says, all cognitive processes are embedded in a self system. They never operate independently from the self. To maintain a spirit of continuity and sameness amidst the world of changing propositions, unquote. Whenever you meet God and faith becomes self-identity, you will walk with a different attitude. You will lift your head up, and folk who don't understand and can't discern the God that's in you, they will only see you as arrogant, and they will only see you as thinking you are bigger than life. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not arrogant, I'm just confident, because I know who God is. I feel like preaching now. I feel like lifting him up, because the whole point is this, that when I meet God, I finally took the limits off myself, because I identify with a source that's not limited by man. So when Elisha opened his mouth and said, tomorrow things are going to be bountiful, even though today they are tight, but when I'm walking in the revelation of God. I don't need the economists to decide when things are going to come around, because while you're intellectualizing, God is speaking to my spirit, and I'll open my mouth and declare what God said. And God said tomorrow there's going to be an abundance. Can I preach like I feel it? He didn't want to make it happen from heaven, but he had 3 lepers sitting outside, and they began to reason in the Holy Ghost. Well, if we go in the city, we're going to die. Can I preach for a minute? You can't go back to limited crippled folk and expect your future to be bright. I feel like preaching in here, because nobody developed who they are in a vacuum. You were sitting among folk who were crippled. Can I preach it like I feel it? The Lord said to the man at the pool, wilt thou be made whole? And I thought it was a ridiculous question, because I said, you're omniscient and you know that he's been trying to get himself together. But the question Jesus is asking is a question to stimulate faith, because he's saying, for 38 years you've been sick, and for some years you've been around crippled folk and lame folk and halt folk and blind folk. Can I preach to some young lady here, some young man with a future, because you've been around folk in your family that didn't have a vision. They have left you without a vision for yourself. They have left you blind, living minute to minute instead of making this minute count for 20 years from now. And they have left you crippled. Have you ever dealt with a lot of folk who want to tell you, you can't make it without me, you ain't gonna be nothing without me, and you need your family if you're ever gonna be something? And God help you if you come home and tell your family, I see myself as a doctor, or I see myself as a millionaire, and the first thing they'll tell you is nobody in this family ever been off welfare. Why do you think you can? Because I have a new identity. Then you've got some folk that want you crippled to keep you on a crib instead of putting you in a king-size bed. What I'm gonna do with my legs? Trying to sleep up here on a crib. What I'm gonna do with my arms? The bed is too small. Touch your neighbor. Say, get out of that bed. That bed is too small. You in the bed with people that don't have a mind for your future. You got in bed with a deacon board that don't have a mind for the church. You in bed with a family that see you as dumb. But I'm so glad I met Jesus, and Jesus told me that my faith shall make me whole. I'm feeling the Holy Ghost. I feel like lifting him up. Give somebody a high five for the 4th time and say, sometimes God uses unusual people. Sometimes God, I'm getting ready to prophesy. I want to tell you something. Your next blessing is going to come from where you least expect it. Your next move is going to come from where somebody said it could never happen. But he had 3 fellas sitting on the outside, and he shook them like he shook the man at the pool and said, wilt thou be made whole? Because I'm getting ready to turn this generation curse around, and I need somebody who believes in me. I don't need somebody who believes in the intellect. I don't need somebody who believes in their college degree. I don't need somebody who believes in the money in the bank. I need somebody who believes in me. And I don't care what your status is. If you believe God, he'll use you to turn the curse around. I saw some lepers sitting outside. Say, if we go back in like the rest of them, we gonna die. Touch somebody for the 5th time and say, neighbor, you can't go back in there. You can't go back down there. You can't get back with that same old crowd, because your future is gonna die. I feel the Holy Ghost. I feel the presence of the Lord. Then they said, if we sit still, we still gonna die. Get somebody high five. Say, quit putting it off. Quit procrastinating. Quit saying tomorrow. Quit saying next year. Quit saying next month. Now. Now, I feel the Holy Ghost, because timing is everything. It's your time. Move. Give somebody a high five for the 6th time and say, neighbor, bust a move. Bust a move. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who can't stand it. It's your time. It's your time. It's your time. Move. I feel the Holy Ghost. I feel the Holy Ghost. I wish I had some help. They got 4 lepers. 4 lepers. Can I preach like I feel it? I feel I might have to borrow 2 more. I might need 2 more touch your neighbors. I feel the Holy Ghost. Come on, get together. I need 4 lepers. Just 4. And when they put them up and put them down in the twilight, God made the 4 sound like an army. God's getting ready to take little you and blow you up, so the devil don't understand who is coming. And the blessing is where the challenge is. If there is no challenge, there is no blessing. So accept the challenge to receive the blessing, and open your mouth and tell your neighbor, I thank God for all of my haters. I thank God for all of my enemies, because I found out if you don't have any haters, you're not that gifted. I'm getting ready to close. Give somebody a high five for the last time and say, faith is the only way out. Believe it, move in it, and you'll have the victory. Do I have any walkers in the house? Pick them up, put them down. Everything my foot touches is mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. The only way out. The only way out. Somebody holler, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Somebody celebrate. Celebrate. I'm out.